Alright, now I'm gonna tell y'all we got two ginkgo biloba moments because y'all sat there and watched me in the end of part 2 put this radiator and intercooler in, knowing damn good and well I didn't put the fan shroud in first. So luckily I didn't get my hoses. That's all over here. I got pieces and parts ready to go in. So we're gonna have to slide the radiator out, stab our fan shroud in, and put the radiator back in, get that going. And then the second ginkgo biloba moment I'll rat myself out on. I can't for the life of me remember where in the hell I put the radiator brackets and the condenser brackets. So to salvage that ginkgo biloba moment, we're gonna go way over there in the parts department and rob some brackets off of one of the parts trucks. So like I said, it's bad when you get old and your mind starts going, but do what you got to do. Alright, let's rob some brackets. I tell you what, it's aggravating. You get a parts truck and you got it for parts, but you hate to get into it because once you rob parts off of it, you don't have them anymore. But that's what the whole purpose of. So like I said, I got multiple brain damage things going on today, but the ginkgo biloba, I know I'm gonna find those brackets. I put them somewhere where they wouldn't get lost, so technically they're not lost, even though I can't find them. So I'm standing, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. See if I can get this off without damaging it. So the two brackets, I need the two upper radiator, these two, and then the two condensers in the front. I'm gonna save, try and salvage this, because Ford in their infinite wisdom make this a very good tool tray, and you will have it full of tools quite often. I'm surprised Fords don't come with the damn tools half the time. But anyway, only way I can find my other brackets is to pull something off the tool truck, which will pretty much guarantee that the old brackets I'm looking for materialize. But this thing right here needs to be stripped anyway. When we get time, I'm just gonna rob the parts out of it. But for right now, I don't have my little warehouse set up yet for parts, so best place to keep them is in the truck so they don't get messed up. All right, so we're gonna get this out, and then the rest will just be buzzing off some 8 mils. All right, let's see. All right, put this in the cab so we don't get it messed up. Thinking about using the interior on this one for another build, but we'll let y'all know about that later. We got a couple of things going on, so get to use my new toy today. Been anxious to use it. Okay, put those there. This is not the big one I wanted, but this was the one that was on sale, and it's pretty damn badass, to be honest with you. I'm impressed. All right. Just a side note, you know, I don't have the grill shell on that truck yet, but you see these air dams. They have one right here that kind of keeps air. You want to make sure you put these on. There's one at the bottom. You can't really see it in here. Let's see. But I think you can see way down there, you can see a couple of push pins and then air dams on this side. So you want to make sure and salvage these. It's just as important as having a shroud. You know, you want to direct it to where the fan pulls all the air through the coolers, and you can't get air around the sides because air is going to flow on the easiest path. And same thing with the shroud. You know, just having an open fan is moving some air, but when you shroud it, it really focuses the pull and it gives you a ton more air volume. So always when you know, if you're doing a complete pull down, try and save these dams. You know, if they get torn or something, you can make them out of something else, but you want to try and keep all your air directed, and that's what the tool tray piece that I first pulled out is also doing, so air doesn't pull this way and miss these coolers. It's all coming through the grill and over the coolers. So they get torn and get forgotten about, but the air dams are really critical. So if you want to keep your truck cool, you're running in hot parts of the country, which seems like this year is damn near the whole country, you want to make sure and keep those air dams. Alright, we're going to put this on time lapse. Y'all don't want to sit here and watch this little slow stuff. So we'll get on here and pull the stuff, put the stuff back, dig it back, and zap it up together. Alright, so we got our brackets in. I'm not going to put the condenser in now. I'll do it in the cooler and the two little cooler lines that are spliced together a little later. I'm going to start working on these hoses on the bottom of the radiator. And the degas bottle hose and the upper and lower hose and transmission lines, get all that hooked up. But I wanted to show y'all this. Anybody new? This upper neck, if you're using the Ford one, is pretty flimsy metal, and there's a real thin O-ring that they use to seal this. So if you try and reuse these, they're prone to leaking. So a lot of times when I get a set, I'll get a thermostat housing set or something. I'll have to look at it and show y'all. But anyhow, I don't have much trouble with the down pipe. But this pipe right here, go ahead and change it if you're changing the thermostat, or if you open this 3-bolt housing and take this off, get another one and save yourself a little drama. And here's a number of the one I got, which is just a AutoZone part, and it's the thermostat neck, thermostat, and the gasket. And then you can also, sometimes the gasket that comes with these thermostats, sorry about all the movement, sometimes the gasket comes with these thermostats does not fit. So they also have this one, which is just a water pump gasket kit, and it has the thermostat and the upper and lower neck O-rings, and then it has a spare water pump gasket you can save for later. But that's a couple of things that might help you guys out. Okay, so I'm at the cooler now. This is just an add-on cooler y'all probably saw hanging out in the front of the truck. And we're gonna put a regular 7.3 cooler on here because it'll bolt in. I don't like running the zip ties through the fins on everything. It's just damaging more stuff than not. So I got a real cool trick when you got these, you're worried about oil draining and fighting these plugs. I've got a special tool for unscrewing hoses. So we got, I got some squeeze, I don't know, I call them pinch off pliers, but they're They're designed to keep everything from leaking. So I got that underneath the truck. Now let's see how much of this I can get on me. We're doing pretty good. All right. So that way we don't lose any more transmission fluid than what we already shot all over everything the other day. And we got that all cleaned up. So it's kind of tight in here, but all I'm doing is I took the old rusty neck off. I'll show you that in a little while. Put the new one with the new thermostat. But this 10 mil back here, I got some anti-seize on it, which means I'm usually covered in anti-seize. But I can't get my fingers in here to get that bolt on or get it in the hole and get it started. So I wanted to show y'all a little trick that I learned a long time ago. Okay, so what you're gonna do, take your 10 mil socket. See if I can do this without getting too full. So if I try and turn this over, it's just gonna dump right out, and then I gotta go find it. So what you do is you take a little piece of paper or some tape, put it over the socket, and you shove the bolt in. Line it up, shove it in, and then tear the paper off so it doesn't get stuck underneath the bolt. Then your bolt won't fall out, and you can screw it in, and then when you pull it off, the paper comes out. Alright, let's see if I did this right. I already got myself half covered in never seize. So let me see. It's blocking the light. So we're going to run that down. And then just jiggle your socket. Well, now I'm going to have to go get the socket with some needle nose. But anyway, that's how you get it started. And fishing the socket off is the easy part. Alright, well, that gets all of our coolers done. Of course, you got power steering, trans. You can see my fight. This truck got hit a bear at one time and bent that second cross member a little bit in the bumper. But everything fits, so we're going to leave it. But these two little jackasses right here, the trans cooler lines, they had all of this extra line here going to that other cooler. And I cut all of that off and trying to get these two routed where they go and in the little clips that hold them. Man, that took a liberal application of colorful language and probably a mild change in religion, but we got it all in there, and we'll top that transmission fluid off. So today we're gonna put the spider back on, get the turbo plumbing back on, and get this engine buttoned up. It'll be everything but the air conditioning for now. We need to get a battery plate or a battery box back on, and then she's a driving project instead of a stationary project. So let's get on it. Alright, if y'all hearing background noise, we're not at the airport. I got fans blowing because it's still hot as hell down here. So we're gonna wipe down our little surface. Oh, you know what? All right, let me show you all this tip, then I gotta go hunt up a V-clamp. So on the spider, I find it's easier to take off if you leave one attached to the spider, leave one attached to the plenum. So you just, you know, just undo one, the bottom on one and the top on the other one, and it kind of will jiggle-hoos this way in there. Let me go see if I can find the V-band clamp for this. All right, one V-band clamp. I have a habit of putting this to the right, but when you're putting any of these on, just make sure you point them in a direction that's going to be easy to get to, you know, with your tools. Now also, y'all been seeing this around in this video, just a little Dawn and water. You know, it's a good good little soapy lubricant to kind of help everything get happy and get on. Let's see if this will cooperate half-ass. I find with the turbo stuff, especially in the very back, if you're pulling the turbo going after the seals or whatever, get everything lined up and finger tight first before you start tightening it down, because one thing is going to contradict another and so forth and so on. She's starting to look like something. Alright. Let's get our clamps up. Get them in place. Need a longer extension. Let's see, where you at? Y'all might hear some ruckus in a minute. The security team is on to a invasion of the kitty cats. They need to come through here, so we're going to point them. We're going to twist them around. And that way we can come at them through the top. Alright. If I have a good spot, yep, that'll work. Get that in the groove. Alright. Finish them off with the ratchet so we know by feel how tight everything is. Alright. Now, let's see. I'll have to break that loose, but we'll go ahead and move this one more time. And we got, alright, where did I hide that? That's here and here. So there's your ground and your insulator. And your captured nut for the heater. If I can get this rascal to start. Oh, that's your ass. Alright. Get all that pushed up. All this stuff's been apart so long, it doesn't want to go back together. Like it's enjoyed its time being separated. Alright. Intake air heater is done. I need 8. Get that out. gonna route back here. Okay, so I need, let's see, we need to unplug this. Okay, so this is gonna sneak under here. She's got a nipple down here. She's got to plug in too. All right, you get on there. Alright, wastegate is just about done. This will plug into the wastegate back sensor. Green one's going to your intake, which we hadn't gotten to yet. Alright, back on the tool truck this morning. I got this battery box to put in right here, and don't forget about your air sensor that goes in the back of the box. I had to clean it out. It had a lot of dirt and grunge in it. Nothing on the air filter side, but I don't know how they got that dirty. But I wanted to show you guys. So while I had to make a new ground. This truck had like a 6.0 style ground in it, and I didn't like the way it was running. So I'm making one, and I've got some liquid electrical tape drying on it. But I'm putting coolant in for the first time, and one of the issues with these rigs, or any rig really, is burping it. So just to show you guys what I do, if you look down here, I have the heater hose that goes right on top of the water pump off, and that way I can see that little nipple down there. And I'm just gonna fill up coolant and let that air purge out of this nipple right here until we get to the point where I start to see coolant out of it. When I see the coolant out of it, we'll take our hose and put it back on and clamp it, and that kind of helps burp the situation. So anyhow, I would show you how we're doing it, but I mean, it's just simple. You have the nipple off, or the hose off the nipple, and fill it up till you see coolant coming out, and then stab the hose back on it. 3 gallons of coolant in, and I notice we got a drip. Looks like our little spout from that drains the bottom, the O-ring or something, is dripping. So 2.5 gallons of coolant in, 2.5 gallons of coolant out. Let's see if I can find an O-ring. All right, guys, we're gonna get on putting a smile on this tool truck. We got Mr. T here. He's gonna take y'all through that. We're gonna put the condenser back on, and we already got all the coolers and intercoolers on, and the grill and the bumper. So we're gonna set y'all up and let T take you through that.
Alright, y'all, we got the grill shell, the grill and the headlights back in the truck. It's starting to look more like a truck, but we'll update y'all when we get a bump on them.
Good morning, guys. We're over here trying to wrap up this particular project. Got it running. Tool truck is just about done. We were having some discussions last night about bumpers. The back one is the original one, but it's kind of bent. We had this one, and we're kicking some ideas around on that. But we got her kind of washed up. We pulled the camper top back to get able to clean back here, and we're going to clean back here and get the bed a little, shoot some degreaser in the bed and wash it out. So we're going to get on that project. I'm probably not going to film a whole lot of it. Y'all know what detailing is, and if you're like me, you're not a big fan of doing it, so watching it is not great either. So we're going to jump on this and see where the day goes.